Here we go. Good evening and welcome back to episode 6 of Pine Stars. I am your one of your hosts, Brad Bates. My co-host here, Brian Rimke, and we are here to bring you news and information and updates on the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds baseball. Like to give a shout out real quick to our producer, Scotty. I haven't talked about him yet in the first couple episodes. Scotty Bird. Say hi, Scotty. Scotty is actually um, Sue Bird's third cousin through marriage. So we try to keep it athletic here on the team. And he reached out and was a fan of the program, said he wanted to help us out with our production. So we got Scotty on staff, and we're ready to have him help jump aboard. Brian, anything you got to say about Scotty in his first couple days here?
No, just the most interesting thing about old Scotty is his favorite way to get around is he's a train guy. So old school, but
Right.
not afraid to get
He
on the
likes the
tracks, and
trains.
I appreciate
Okay.
it about that, Scotty. Yeah,
I,
likes the trains and still reads the paper. Um, so he's definitely a throwback, but it's good to have him on.
that, that sounds fantastic. We're excited to have you, Scotty. So looking at last weekend, we talked about they had Truman was coming into town, and if they could get 3 out of 4, they should get 3 out of 4, and as long as they weren't lazy, they could get 4 out of 4. And I mean, they just went out and started dropping warheads on foreheads in the middle of game one and just let it roll, didn't they?
They did and set the tone early with a 15-5 win. Frankie Clem coming out setting the tone.
Frankie Clem in the kitchen
Uh,
sink. Here they come, baby.
Tell you what, 3 2/3 5Ks, get out of my way. And then it was, the staff after that. Besecker came in, clean inning in a third. Grant Kelly came in for a couple, and then O'Born came in and finished it out. So, pitching wise, solid effort there. But offensively, just dropped the checkered flag. I mean, off and running.
Just taking off,
You
weren't
got
they?
12 bags stolen, and Piston Hondros leading the way with five.
Pistons stole 5 bags, and it's
Five
like
bags.
the Naples Fort Myers Greyhound dog track, isn't it? I mean, they're just out there, and here's Petey, and that little rabbit comes out in
Yeah.
front, and those dogs take off. Did you ever go to the Fort Myers Naples dog track? They shut it down.
It's been a minute.
But
Yeah,
have you ever
yeah, it's
been
been a
there?
minute. No,
Oh, it
no,
was
I
fantastic.
gotta confess.
I've been there
It's not on the
twice.
train route, so Scotty never took me.
Scotty's
Yeah.
never been. Scotty's never been. Trains don't go that far south.
Um,
Um, no, but
right. But
stealing stealing 12
yeah,
bags in a game is crazy.
yeah, and Goody had three, Kenny two names. He had a couple, Nelly and Eli both grabbed one. So, and then not only
Eli,
that,
Evansville bossy
guys were
guy.
just getting, dude, and then six hit by batsmen. So just wearing it in that game. You
Just
hit
finding
six of
ways
our
to get
guys,
on
we're going to
base.
steal some bags. But no, I mean, dude, scored 15 runs on 10 hits, clean on the fielding side. Um, Bodie with four ribbies, Ole with three ribbies.
Yeah, he's really
So
come on lately,
really, really
man.
good
Like,
effort.
yeah, Ole's like he's been coming through big these last couple games. I feel like he's really turned some things around. So yeah, just get that swipe
Yeah.
in there. Um, you called him out and said he was your click to pick, and about a week and a half later, man, he's taken off, which is awesome to see. Sorry, I cut you off. So 15-5 game one, and then what about game two?
Well, game two wasn't really fair because it was 7-0, but was it even that close? Because the chef went out there, 7 innings, two hits, 8 Ks.
Yes,
I mean,
chef.
right. Drury never had a chance. And so,
That wasn't even Jury. Jury doesn't have a chance this coming weekend. This was Truman.
correct.
So, but jury
Yeah.
jury just shit their pants when they saw that. They were like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. Game two, Bodie, two more RBIs in that game. Nelly had three.
I'm sorry.
Smock had two.
His name is Swayze. It's not Bodie. It's Swayze.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Swayze.
I'm not upset
Um,
about it. I just wanted to get it on the record.
yeah. No. Bodie, Swayze. Um,
Hmm.
two more ribbies in this game. Nelly with three. Smock coming in, Warren, if you will.
There it is.
Two more ribbies, and then also even with that, Warren stole three bags.
I
So
mean,
five more stolen bases in that game.
they're just, yeah, just out of the
I
gates,
mean
man.
that
They're taking off running, which I
right.
love to see.
So yeah,
I'm a small ball fan. Like like, we played in at the time when it was a wooden back conference, and I think just being appreciating the game as much as I do, I love small ball. And so seeing these guys running bases and doing the fake bunts and the bunts and things like that, I love that type of play.
yeah, yeah. So then game three, another good one, 5-1.
Thanks for bringing your emotion into the show as well, Brian.
Somebody's got to keep us on track, and I don't know where you're staying, and so Scotty and I are on the train, and we're just trying to get us there.
Scotty's in your ears telling him to wrap it up.
Yeah, he's saying we got work to do, son. Um, so yeah, let's move to game three. Game
Oh,
three,
yes.
5-1, another win, and that was again one that I'm not sure was really all that fair, because Noah was on the mound, 7 innings, 6 hits, 13 Ks. So just
Snow struck
your
out a
normal,
baker's dozen again.
yes, yeah. So
Jesus.
another strong outing there, and with that, good, consistent top to bottom. Piston Hondras with two doubles, and
Man.
so he gets it going. Lukac had one as well as Swayze. So a couple doubles there, and not to miss out the big swing, Nelly dropped a bomb. So
Oh,
that one
boy.
that one was 5-1. And
Okay.
again, saved the staff with snow going the whole way.
Damn. So they got
What's
back
that?
to back
Hold
complete.
on, hold on, Scotty. Yeah, he said move on to game four. So let's do that.
You're a dick. But go ahead.
So game four, again, another one that was just really a dominant effort, 14-4. You look at that one, and Piston Hondras again, like all weekend. Now he's picking up a triple. Now he's dropping another bomb, and then they're still running. So Piston Hondras had one, Lukac had one, Kenny Two Names had one, Nelly had one, and Warren had one.
If Kenny Two
So
Names is
just
swiping a
running.
bag, anybody can swipe a bag.
So yeah, it was just a good effort. You look at those stats when you put up 14. Okay, where'd they come from?
Yeah.
Swayze, four ribbies. Piston Hondras, two ribbies. Goody had one. Lukac had one. Kenny Two Names had one. Nelly had four. So again, just production up and down.
Yeah.
If there's ever a weekend where you want the bats to come alive, save some arms. Let some guys get. This was it. You take four. Taking four from anybody's rough, but when you
Yeah.
take four in a weekend from a team and you separate yourself in the standings, so now they're looking at the top. They're within striking distance of the top of the conference now. So great weekend, because now they're sitting 13-6 in the conference, one game out of second place.
Yeah.
So right where you want to be on a 5-game win streak. Um, Obviously heading in, like we said, and then they're going to get Drury this weekend.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think the way that they handled this was one of those where I was a little bit worried about, like, do they play down to their competition, or do they play up to their potential? And I think they played up to their potential as opposed to, not they kind of got up in games and then, put their foot on their neck and so to speak, and closed out games and kept swiping bags and kept running and things like that.
Well, scoring 41 runs in a weekend will do that for you.
That's so many
For,
runs.
for 41 runs and just never stopped running.
Yeah,
Um, in the 4 games, stole 12 bags, 5 bags, 2 bags, 5 bags. So
that's
24 stolen
un
bases in a 4 game series is pretty strong.
that's
Yep.
unbelievable.
Clean, really clean in the field. So yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
just
I think you I think Scotty told me that they only had 2 errors on the week, right? On the weekend.
yeah, Scotty doesn't miss that one. So yeah, just two.
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
that's saying something
I
because I mean that's somewhere that like if you go back in box scores and look like there's almost always 2 or 3 errors per game when you look at this a lot of times. And so for them to go out and only put two in on the weekend, um, they're coming together and they're focusing in going into, like you said, it's a tough weekend series against Drury. And then after that they got Billy Jewell. Um, no, Purdue Northwest or whatever is, yeah, Purdue Northwest,
yeah,
and then Billy Jewell,
yeah,
and
Billy
then
Joel's
Lewis.
following weekend, yeah. But
Yeah,
like we were saying, you look at where they're at, you see all those runs, you're like, well, surely there would have been more hits. Well, when Truman can't get the ball around the plate because they only had 23 walks on the weekend, you're like, that seems like a lot. Well, they also hit 12 batters. So they're not exactly nibbling the corners here. I think they were pitching batter's box to batter's box.
they're like, wait a second, why is that guy in the box? I don't know. We don't throw to that. We don't usually throw to that.
It's like the Ricky Vaughn in Major League where he knocks the head off the
Oh, the
silhouette.
cart off the, yeah, off the stand-in.
Tried the corner and missed. But no, I mean, that's just hey, if they're going to give them to you, you take them. You put up runs. You take pressure off the staff. You get some dominant performances up there from the chef and Snow to go with everybody else that came in. So I think it's a good weekend all the way around.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think like looking ahead, you got Drury coming up,
Hmm.
and they're right behind the Hounds in the conference. I think they're uh,
Yeah,
what
they're
UNC's
11 and
13 and
9.
6. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
so they're two games back or however that would work. So
yeah.
like it's a
Scotty
it's a
said it's two and
meaningful
a half.
series. 2.5.
Yeah, Scotty said 2.5. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, two and a
two
half.
and a half. But yeah, this weekend's the one where you can send Drury back to where they belong, which is middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And then the Hounds have the ability then to jump. They're already in the top four, but hey, maybe we're talking top two now if they have another good weekend. So I
Yeah, if they
like where
just go
they're
out
at.
and handle
Getting
their
hot at the right
business.
time.
Yeah, if they just go out and handle their business like they did this weekend and just go out and play with that same confidence. This last weekend reminded me, I don't know if I shared it with you or not, but I saw a post on the gram of there's an American F-15 fighter pilot that whose call sign is Mullet, and he flies with a can of Zen in his jet dashboard. He's got a mullet, and the eagle painted on the side of his F-13 has a mullet. And it just it rings freedom. It rings freedom, and that's exactly like that. I saw that and I was like, that was basically the Hounds this weekend. They just went out and dominated. Like I said, dropped warheads on foreheads and uh,
Hey,
just kept moving.
America.
All right, so jury's coming up. Like you said, we need a big weekend.
Mhm.
Getting 3 out of 4 would be fantastic this weekend. I don't see any reason why they couldn't do that. The chef has found his niche. He's back on the game, um, and Snow he's rolling. Um,
Hmm.
and so, I know we want to get into our clicks to pick here. So I was going to look at, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You know what? This is your week. Why don't you go?
Okay. So the pitching they've been rolling. One of the guys that I want to look at here that I think's getting he's coming in relief a lot, kind of that middle relief guy, but he's been throwing pretty well, and I feel like this is kind of where he's getting ready to set in and just shut a lot of shit down. So, my click to pick this week is going to be Nick Biesecker. Um, Nick Biesecker from where's he from?
Newcastle. Newcastle.
Newcastle,
The home
Indiana.
of Steve Alford and David Lee Roth.
Steve, that's what if they had a baby, you know what that'd be? Nick B. Secker is what that would be. That's what we got right here. The love child of David Lee Roth and Steve Alford. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Mr.
But
Indiana.
but okay, so Nick's a general studies major at UND, right? Which
Hmm.
really warms my feels because that's pretty much what I was. But he's also a middle relief kind of guy, and he's got to be able to be flexible and play that different role. He's that general studies savant. He's that jack of all trades, master of none kind of guy, right? So if you really bring that down, he's the joteman, jack of all trades, master of none. Joteman is my nickname for Nick B. Secker now. He is the Joteman. And I really think he's gonna be that guy that just he's gonna be that Chad Kaufman taking that last hit off of that Camel Light down in the bullpen, putting it out on his cleats, running out onto the bullpen, running out onto the mound. Um, that's my pick this week is Joteman, Nick P.
All
Secker.
right. I like it. It's a mouthful, but I think it works. Uh, all right. This one I'm going to take as an oversight on our part. Want to thank Scotty for pointing this one out. We got two catchers doing a lot of the work back there.
Mhm.
We named one early on when we went Kenny two names. It's time to get the other guy. So
Yeah.
Dom, we're coming to you. Again, Scotty not only helps produce the show, a lot of the stats, a lot of the research comes up from Scotty. So,
Yep.
he's putting a lot of this stuff together, and he takes one look at Dom and he says, "You know who that is? It's Vincent Chase from Entourage."
Vinny
Now,
Chase, man. He looks just like
Dom,
him.
Dom, you probably don't know this show, but get your HBO Max fired up and go ahead and do yourself a favor, get into that series. Vincent Chase is the star of the show.
Live that life.
Yeah, he's the rock star. He's the main guy. So, Dom, you that is your doppelganger, buddy. And so we're going just Vinny, which is how he rolls on the show. He's the star, Vinny. So, Dom, you're Vinny, buddy.
Vinny, he's gonna click this week too. I got a good feeling. Um, like we said, coming off a 4 game winning streak, coming off a big weekend. They had a really big turnout at the K Out for Cancer event on
Very
Friday.
cool.
I heard it was a wonderful crowd out there, and the Hounds really showed out that day too, and got to show a lot of people what kind of ball they can play. It's getting exciting. Getting down to those last couple series of the year, and we're really looking forward to seeing how this team perseveres on the way through. So, any final words of wisdom heading into the weekend series for Drury?
No, I was looking back through a lot of our names on these clicks to pick. Um, you know, a lot of movie, a lot of song references that I know these guys don't get.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
you know, so
What's the
who on the
problem?
team? Z
Okay,
zero issue.
okay.
But somebody's got to be like the history buff for this. So
Okay.
somebody on the team, like who's that guy? Who's the YouTuber? Who is somebody that's down in all the reels or getting on TikTok, whatever?
Yeah.
Because they
Did
need
you say
clips.
downing? Did you say downing all the reels? Is that what they call it? Is that what the kids call it? Down in the reels?
That's what I just called it. So it's probably not accurate. Um,
Anyway,
um,
but
but
yeah,
yeah, so I mean, we've talked through, you know, Ghetto Cowboy. I can only
mm,
hope everybody's watched that. You know, last
yeah,
week on Goody, we dropped the Goody song was Petey Pablo.
yeah.
We
Well, these
dropped
are a
The
lot of,
Informer was Snow.
yeah,
Um, Somebody hopefully is getting these references and getting these out there to the guys. I know it's not a road trip coming up, but that's a good time for some of that research getting done. But somebody on the squad's got to step up. We need we need the researcher. They need a Scotty Bird, is what they need.
they do need a Scotty Bird. Um, he's done nothing but make our life much easier. Um, with all the emails we've been answering and things like that. So, but yeah, I think if they need, I don't know who that guy is. Maybe we can talk to Reddy and figure that out. But if there's not, somebody's got to be picking up the torch. I mean,
Well,
we can't.
it's real simple. You guys pick or we will. So,
Well, we can't lead a horse to water. Or we can actually, but we can't make it drink. So we could definitely show you these references and just let you in on the wonderful world of 90s things, 80s, 90s, 2000s things. But if you're not going to take the advice and harness the power that comes from these gifts, because these are deep cuts. These aren't, not many people are referencing Ghetto Cowboy and Goodies by Sierra. So, um,
we used to listen to those songs in between commercials, like old school.
all right. Well, gentlemen, they're back at home this week, 4 games.
Yep.
Um, Definitely want all four, but we know you guys will go out there and keep rolling. Looking forward to seeing how you guys do this weekend. Should be wonderful weather. Hopefully, see a lot of people out at the ballpark this weekend, and go get them, Hounds.
Yep. Give them hell, boys.